Yeah. Hey, turn me up, turn me up. Yeah. Alright. I'm Shooney in the belly of the beast, nigga. I be damned if I die in these streets, nigga. Hands up for the money we gon' reach, nigga. Shooney in the belly of the beast, nigga. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Live and direct. We in effect. I said, yo, podcast. We in the building. We live on Twitter right now. We live on YouTube right now. We just chopping it up. We do these podcasts to get a more in-depth, just overview of some of our just amazing talents, people that I'm fans of, that y'all are fans of. We've had on the show. Last week we had Real Sick on here. We had a really, really dope conversation with Real Sick. We talked about him growing up in the community he grew up in, his friends growing up, him getting into rap, experiencing racism as a kid, and like how he won't say nigga. He don't think like, yo, man, I got my own things to go through and go with. I ain't got to talk like somebody else, how he disagree with that. So we talked about the disaster battle. And we also talked about like how he got into hip hop, how Eminem kind of opened up his eyes to hip hop in general. And then when he listened to the people that Eminem said he was a fan of, it got him even deeper in his bag. Make sure you check that out. That's on the podcast right now. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, all those good places wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, today, man, we got man, I'm pumped up for our guest this week. We got a wonderful talent, a wordsmith, a show woman. Some people say showman, but however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, man. She's a legend. She's an inspiration, and she popping in on the show. She probably gonna have a funny face like, nigga, why you saying all she don't want no compliments or nothing, man. We just go, hold on. We gonna make some noise, man, for the wonderful, man, the wonderful Miss Phara Funeral. What's up?
How are you?
I'm
I'm
all
excited
right.
to be here. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited that you came and you rocking with us. You know, we in the building. When I told people that we were gonna have Phara Funeral, right? Every woman I know, right? Like, you know, the guys, like, all the time when we watch these battles or whatever, y'all be like, oh, they dressing, they doing this for the man. But the women love y'all and they love you. Why do you think the ladies love you so much when it comes down to this?
I get a lot that I think it's my personality. A lot of the ladies tell me it's my sex appeal, which I find very hard because I'm very weird. I'm
What do you mean?
like people that know me like just know like I'm like a weird person. I'm like really like I don't like that. Don't touch me. Oh no, that makes me cringe. Like everything is just like so weird to me. So just having people think that I have sex appeal is a lot, you know.
Okay. Okay.
It's, yeah.
Do you? I know. I've been told when I talk to just women about how they like, what do they like about women battle rap? Right? They say, they say stuff that I want to say. Ferris says stuff that like I want to say. They're aggressive, like I want to be aggressive. Like they might be in the boardroom or whatever. They might be at a factory job. They might be a school teacher, and they're like, man, I want to bark in front of these. Like I want to speak my mind like that, right? Do you find like when you get on the stage, is it like a release? Is it like because you ain't no docile rapper. You are in front of your face like I'm about to like scream on you. So like, is it a release?
Honestly, I this mm, I don't think like I'm not. I feel like when I get up there, it's just really my personality. Like this is
Okay.
just me. I'm loud. I'm like in your face.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my energy is just yeah, it's there.
It's
Or
authentic.
yeah,
Yeah. I
definitely.
think I think some women wish they could be that, be their full self on stage, or not even just women. Some people, like just people in general, they wish they could be their full self on stage. Now, let me ask you, what part of New York are you from?
I'm
For
from the
those that
Bronx.
don't know.
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, okay. What's growing up in the Bronx like? Like you tell
Um,
me, I'm from Detroit. Like I want you to keep in mind, all right? I'm from Detroit. We drive everywhere. It ain't no big buildings. It ain't no Manhattan to get to it. So tell me the Bronx. Like I would, like I've never been to New York in my life.
okay, so the Bronx is really like the hood. It's like I would say, like in my opinion, because I'm from the Bronx, it's like you can't be a New Yorker without coming to the Bronx.
Okay.
But growing up for me in the Bronx was more so like summertime shootouts, basketball tournaments.
So that's a basketball tournament, or are you talking about
No, like
niggas shooting
really
in this?
summertime
Okay,
shoot.
okay, all right, all
Like,
right, all right, all right, all right.
um,
Yeah.
I'll get into that. Summertime shootouts, block parties, basketball tournaments. The Spanish lady that sold ices out her house, out the window. Playing football in the middle of the street on a concrete, manhunt, things like that
Okay.
is like
So
my
what?
me
So
growing.
what were you? What were you doing? Like, what was the family dynamic in the house? Was it like you, moms, pops,
So
brothers,
I grew
sisters?
up, me, my two sisters, and my mom, just us, and a 2 bedroom apartment.
Okay.
For a while until I want to say I was like 9, like
Hmm.
9. I believe I was like 9, and then we moved and into a bigger place, and then I want to say when I was about 14, me and my mom moved again because at that point both of my sisters had moved out.
Okay.
So it was just me and my mom
So
from I
you
would
the
say the age
youngest, just
of
so we
14.
on point. You the
Yeah.
youngest of the.
I'm
Okay.
the baby. I'm
Okay.
the baby of 7. My mom
Okay.
had 7
Okay.
kids. Yeah. So after, yeah, from the age of 14 to 21, it was just me and my mom.
Okay. When you what was like high school for you? Like, were you rhyming by this time? Like, when did you decide like, yo, hey, I'm gonna try to rap? Or when did you get into rap? Yeah, let's go there. When did you get into rap? Like, yo, I fuck with this.
So I want to say I've always liked writing for the most part.
Okay.
Like my favorite subject in high school was English and journalism. Those are the only 2 classes I believe I ever went to that I didn't fail.
Okay.
Like if my mother had to come to school and see a report card, 2 classes she knew I was going to pass was English,
Mm-hmm.
journalism. So I think I've always had the passion to write
Mm-hmm.
and like tell stories, for the most
Yeah.
part. Um I would try and rap, but I never, like, it didn't really come together for me.
Okay. So what you mean by
So
try to rap? Like you would like rap
like
when a
I
beat
would
come
try and
on?
write raps, like, and try and rap them, but then it was like it didn't sound right.
So like, did you rap them to somebody, or were you just
No,
rapping them
I
to
would just
yourself? And
rap them to myself, and I was just like, this. It didn't sound like nothing that I was hearing. So I was just like,
okay.
this ain't how. I don't think this is how it's supposed to go.
And how old are you when you doing this?
I was like 15, I want to
Okay.
say.
Okay.
And I remember in my school, like lunch period, the most popping lunch period was like fourth and fifth period, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at those periods, all the guys would be in the lunchroom. Everybody that was popping was in the lunchroom at that time, right?
Okay.
And it was this one guy. Every time we was in the lunchroom, he would make beats on the table. So he was make the beats, boom, start making the beats, and then it was like a couple dudes that would be over there rapping like in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always like I knew all of them, so I would always go over there, sit with them, laugh, joke while they were rapping or whatever. And every time I would go over there, I would be like, all right, let me rap. And I'd be
Uh-huh.
like, uh, uh. But I would never rap. Like I would
Oh
never
no,
say
you did
nothing.
you did the B rabbit?
Yeah,
You
so
you was B rabbit for
I
real?
would never say nothing. So they always would get mad, like, yo, you always come over here and do that. Like, if you're not gonna rap, stop doing that. And I'm like, nah, I'm really gonna rap. Like, I'm really, really gonna rap. And I remember reading a magazine. I think it was probably like a Vibe magazine or something.
Uh-huh.
And you've been in battle rap for a while, but you probably don't know him. His name is Shells. He was
I
a
know who
battle.
Shells is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
So
Shells.
so
Yeah.
Shells grew up on my block,
Okay, okay.
right?
Shout
I know
out to Shells.
family. And I remember reading a Vibe magazine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they used to have this section where rappers would break down their bars or like just give a verse or whatever. And I remember reading it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I read it and I was like, oh, this is fire. Like, this is fire. And I remember writing it down. Like, I didn't even rip the page out the magazine. I just wrote it down, like word for word, wrote
Mm-hmm.
it all down. And I went to school, right?
No, no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I went to
No, you
school.
didn't. No, you
I
didn't. No,
went
you
to
didn't. No,
school
you
and they
didn't.
were I went to school and they were rapping, right? And then I busted out, like I busted out the rap. I busted out the rap. And they was like, oh, like at first they was like, oh, you can rap. And then one of the guys was like, that's not yours. And I was like, shut up. And they was like, you fucking play all the time, like every time. And then they was like, yo, just write a rap. And I was like, I don't know how to write a rap. And then that was like the funniest shit ever. Like they ain't clown me or nothing because we was cool, but I thought that was
Uh-huh.
the funniest shit in the world. And then I forget what I was listening to. I was listening to Kanye West Through the Wire.
Okay. Okay. Let's go.
And I remember listening to that song, but I don't know what mood I was in. But I remember I was with one of my best friends, and her boyfriend had a studio. And I remember listening to it, and I'm like, I'm going to write to this.
Okay.
And she was like, you serious? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to write to this. And I think I have the song in my email somewhere, but that was the first rap I ever wrote
Man,
to through the
do
wire.
you remember? Give me the first 8 bars.
I cannot remember it. And the crazy thing is I just had it in my head not too long ago. I cannot remember. I swear I'm gonna ask her to
Mm-hmm.
see if he still have the file. And I'm gonna email it to you so you can hear
Okay.
it. That was
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna chop this up and I'm gonna put a snippet of it right there.
yes,
I'm
and
gonna
that
put it
was
right there.
the first rap I ever wrote.
Did you
Um
go and after you went and recorded it? Did you start like looking to get into battle rap or just rapping on
No,
beats in general?
I still wasn't. I didn't even know about battle rap still. And I remember after I recorded that song, that following week when I went to school, I actually rapped it at the table with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, "You wrote that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." And I let them hear it, and they was like, "Oh, you really could rap." And then from then on, I just like wrote little raps. I did songs, but I never like really pursued doing music for the most part
Okay.
because I didn't understand. I didn't like the doubling, and I didn't like doing ad libs, and I necessarily didn't like the way my voice sound.
Okay.
So it was always like like people would be like, "Yo, your voice is fire," and I just used to be like, "I
Okay.
don't, I
Do you
don't like it."
the people that are in the comments, and I try to keep this in the moment, but there are people in the comments that are just ranting and raving about how beautiful you are and how dope
Oh,
you are.
I
We
see
got
a lot
some.
of
We got one. Where we at right here? Big Aries, not the little
That's
one.
a fact. Big Ram shit. You know what's up.
You know what I'm saying? We got. Let's see, man. We
Thank you,
got.
Will.
We got Mike G in here. I don't know you. We got Mike G in here. Let's see who else we got in here. Will. Oh wow. Wait a minute. You might have. Oh wow, Mister. I don't know. We gonna have to talk to Jada or something to see what's going on, because we got Mister Will Smith. He says I have strong feelings for you, Farrah. Man, listen, if y'all stay tuned and if y'all share the podcast, if y'all share the live stream, we're going to share a phone number for y'all to call in and y'all could actually talk to Farrah, kick it with her, see what's going on. Now, when did you make the transition into considering battle rap? Because it take way, way more to just end up on the stage. So it had to be something in preparation or consideration.
So, what was I doing there? I don't even remember what I was working a regular job.
Okay.
And I remember my brother. A lot of people like in battle rap know of my brother, but my brother's Dan Bars. He hangs out with Rex.
Okay.
He did a few like one or two battles or whatever. And he used to when he was hanging out with Rex, Star Smiles.
Yeah.
You know who Star Smiles is? Her and Rex
Let them know who Star
dated.
Smiles is.
Star Smiles is one of my closest friends. We came into battle rap together. I actually like brought her with me. So he knew Star Smiles and they were at a radio station together. My brother and Star Smiles, they were at a radio station together. And at that time, like they were working with the same producers and whatever, and they had went to the radio station and she was rapping. And she had messed up or something like that, from what I could recall from the story. And then like she was like, oh, I could really rap or whatever. So my brother was like, my sister rap, and then it like became this thing. And then they were like, I got somebody, you know, like for you that could rap better than you. And she was like, I bet, like bring her. So he told me, and then him and my one of my close friends from high school, they were like, yo, we got something we want you to do. So I'm like, what? They was like, yo, we want you to battle rap this girl. And I'm like,
Oh,
what?
they was lining somebody. Oh, wait a minute. They was lining
Yeah,
somebody
they was
up.
like, oh, we want you to battle rap some girl. And I'm like, battle rap? Like, what is battle rap? And they like, Rex, Mook, you rap against somebody. And I'm like, I don't know what that is, right?
Okay. And just
So
so just for
like,
just for a time period, you're how old right now?
I want to say probably like 23,
Okay.
I think. Not too sure, but I wasn't, you know. And then I'm like, what? So then I'm like, how am I supposed to do it? They was like, just write your most disrespectful stuff. Right? I'm like, am I supposed to write it to a beat? I don't know. So
Mm.
they like, just write. And I'm like, okay. So I remember being home and I didn't write to a beat, but there was a beat in my head.
Okay.
And I just started writing. Like whatever came to my mind, I just started writing. Cause I didn't, you know, I don't know there's a structure to it. I don't know anything about battle rap. At this
Were you
point.
thinking of were you at that time were you a punchline rapper? Were you
No.
like
I
what
don't
kind of rapper were you? Like
I
what
was
was you rapping about?
in the battle.
Nah,
Oh, in general,
before you yeah.
I kind of was like all over the place.
Like give me an idea. Was you like I need love? Was you
No, no, no. I wasn't none of
like
that.
Remy on Annie Up? Was
I
you
was yeah, like any up. That's it. Yeah. I was
okay?
rough. I was really rough.
No sex appeal in
No
these
sex
bars.
appeal.
Oh my. Oh,
No
you was
nothing.
okay.
It was rough out here, right?
Okay. We gonna have to visit. We gonna have to once we get here. We gonna
I'm gonna tell you how to find the battle because a lot of people be looking for it, and I'm
okay.
just gonna tell you how to find it,
Hey,
right?
not to pause your story, but we do want to shout out whenever we get contributions to the show, they go to the guests. So we got a contribution on the show. We got 9.99 US dollars that was donated to the show. He say sorry he's late. He hopes all is well. Tell Farrah that she was probably the first celeb he actually started, guys. I guess he's saying starstruck in front of. He said happy holiday,
Happy
happy holidays.
holidays to you.
Yeah, word, word, word. Shout out to him. All right, so you're getting ready, man. They say, yo, we got a battle for you. We
Right,
got this young lady. We got this young lady lined up. What do you?
right. So they tell me her name, and
What was her name?
I, her name was Star Smiles.
Okay, okay. So it was Smiles. Okay,
Yeah.
boom. All right.
So I'm like, so how long we got? They was like, you got 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just remember writing whatever was coming to my mind. I just remember writing something, and I
Were you
remember
nervous?
nervous, like, cause I don't know what this, like, how is this supposed to go? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just remember writing whatever came to mind. I wrote it down,
okay,
and then I just started rapping it. But I was rapping it with the beat that was in my head.
okay. What beat was it though? What
I
was it?
have
Through the
no,
wire? Was it through the wire?
it wasn't through the wire. I don't know what beat it was, but it was a beat in my head, right?
Okay.
And I just remember writing like whatever was coming to my mind. I guess the beat was like putting me in the mood. I don't
Yeah, yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
write to it like at that rhythm, but I know it was something playing in my head.
Got
And
you.
I wrote everything I wanted to write, and so the battle took place in my brother's building,
Okay.
right? We call it the 20. So it took place there. I remember getting off of work, and I came with my brother-in-law and a few of the guys that live on my block. They came to support, but I came like just me and my brother-in-law. But my people from my block wasn't even there yet. So when I pulled up, she had the building full of people. So now I'm super nervous because I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo,
Like,
your first battle,
yes, I'm like, like, what's
man.
happening right now? I was so like so nervous, and I'm like, oh my god, like what is about to happen right now? And I walk in there, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then they flip the coin, and I remember her rapping.
Okay. And what are you thinking while she's rapping?
And while she's rapping, I'm like I did not prepare for this. I'm like, I did not prepare for this. So I'm like, this girl's gonna fucking kill me. And then she stumbled, she choked or whatever.
Oh man. And then what? How you feeling right
So
then?
then I'm like, okay, okay. So I start rapping, and everybody is like, oh, okay. So I was rapping. So we went 3 rounds. And I think the last round I said something about her baby daddy. And and I said something like she thinks she a star, but she a porn star or something like that. It was wild. It was like it was yeah, a bunch of everything in there or whatever. So I was just like, go ahead now. So that was my first battle,
So
and
you was more shock value bars at that point in
yeah,
time.
it was like really random bullshit.
You ever hear like people when they're just like getting into it and they're learning like how to battle rap and it's mainly just insults. There's no really bars in there. It's just like you
It was
ugly
like
motherfucker.
two. It was like 2 to 3 insults, and I think the rest was just I don't even know.
Okay.
It was.
So
I know it was a lot
okay.
of
So
nothing.
so when you were between like high school and adulthood before you got into that into that battle, like right in that middle time when you was rapping like super hardcore and like just aggressive per your words. Uh, what was going on in life? Like what was going on at this time? Were you had you become a mother yet? Were
I was a
you
mom. I was a mom.
okay?
Um.
How old were you when you had your
I
first?
was 21
Okay.
when I had my son.
Okay.
Um. I had just lost my mom like a few years before I started battle rapping.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like in that moment, like battle rap kind of saved me in a sense.
Okay. How so?
Um, I was spiraling,
What?
like like spiraling really really bad, and I remember like my life being like dark, like really dark.
What?
Um,
What's that look like?
so it was more so like I just remember I would just be home. Everything was dark,
Okay.
lights off. Didn't want any lights. All the curtains would be closed on a day to day.
And
Um,
this
I
is like
found myself like often having my son's father pick him up, you
mm,
know, just like grieving, I guess, but not grieving.
right.
I think it was more so me like locking the world out.
Okay. And
And
that's cause like all the that's dealing with the loss of your mother
yes,
and being a new parent too.
and being a new parent, and I felt like um a lot like after my mom passed, it like I don't think I was ready.
Okay.
You know, I felt like in a sense I was still a kid,
Yeah.
you know, and a little part of me, even in adulthood, right?
Hmm.
I still like hold. Oh my god, I still like hold like accountability, like or I still like blame myself in a sense, you know,
Mm,
for the that day.
okay.
Um, and in that moment, it was just like letting her go. I remember like the day, and I just remember having a conversation with her, like, and
Hmm.
just telling her, like, it's okay, like, you
Yeah.
you don't have to stay for me, like, you can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay, you know. Now, I just remember talking to her, like, I know, like, you're staying and you're fighting because of me. Like, you probably feel like I'm not ready to be a parent, or like
Mm,
I'm not like I can't do it without you. And I really felt like that, but a part of me was just like to get to the hospital every day on like a daily basis. I'm still a kid a little bit, you know, and I
yeah.
have a
Yeah.
son, but I'm still a kid. I'm only 21.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work. I'm being a mom. I'm coming home. And every day I'm going to this hospital to sit with my mom and she's not responding. You know,
Mm,
like there's not a moment when I can touch her and she can touch me back, or like, you know, so it's like I'm going in that hospital every day with hopes of a response or hopes of life, and I know it's not that, you know.
mm-hmm.
So everything was left up to me, in a sense. So nothing could happen unless I allowed it to happen.
Right.
So and that was a struggle for me as well, because it's like I'm the baby
Yeah.
and everybody above me is like they want say so, but it's like, oh, just take her off, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And then it just became like a struggle, like, and then I'm like, a part of me was like, I'm not ready.
Right.
And you know, we all like my brothers came up because my family lives in the south, so my brothers came up, you know, to see her, and it was just like I remember one day, um being home and I just get a phone call and it's like she coded, and if she codes again, like we're not gonna revive her, so you guys better come see her.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
I just remember leaving and just rushing to the hospital, like, because if this is gonna be the last day, I gotta make sure I'm here.
Right.
And I remember being the only person there for a little while, and then my brothers and my sisters came. And in that moment, like she did something that we all was just like, okay, like maybe there's a chance. And then
Mm,
we spoke to the doctors and they like killed our vibe. Like,
mm.
no, it's not that, you know? So
So like even having that like going through that and learning how to be a parent and
I
Yeah.
hadn't even learned how. I still hadn't learned how to be a parent because for the first year of my son's life, my mom was around. So she was teaching me how to be a parent. My son was attached to my mother. Like every morning he would wake up, go in my mother's room. He wouldn't
Yeah.
go to sleep without my mother. So it was like I still hadn't learned how to be an adult. I
Yeah.
didn't have no bills. I just
Right.
had a kid. And I was just like,
Yeah, that's a shell shock.
yeah,
That's a shell
like
shock.
in that
Do,
moment, the last time I seen my mom, it was like, okay, we've been doing this dance for 2 weeks, you
okay.
know? And I got there that day and something in me was like, today, like you have to say something today. And I walked in there and I just seen my godmother was there and she was praying like and
Mm,
she hadn't come like she came like a few days but this day she was there and she was in the corner and she was praying and I was just like what the fuck, like not what the fuck but like what are you doing here?
right.
And she was like something told me to come here today and I'm like okay. So she was like come on, we're gonna pray, and then I'm just gonna step out for a second. So I'm like, okay. So we
Wow.
prayed, and I just remember my phone ringing, 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 and I would not answer. So I started talking to her, and I'm like, like it's okay. Like you could go. I'm okay.
Mm,
I'm gonna be an amazing mom. Like
yeah.
I, take everything you taught me, and I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna be somebody. Like
Yeah.
like you don't have to stay. Like you don't have to fight for me. I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like you raised me. You raised me right. I got this. I got this. It's okay. If you don't have to fight anymore. You can go. And that was like the first day I see tears come out of her eyes.
Uh huh.
And in that moment I knew she could hear me and she understood what I was saying, right?
Right.
I just kept talking and I was holding her hand and the tears were falling and I'm just like, okay, like but my phone, I remember my phone would not stop ringing. And I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? Because I know like I'm telling everyone like don't call my phone when I'm at the hospital. My phone kept ringing. And my godmother was like, you have to answer that phone. And I'm like, no, like I'm not leaving her side. And she was like, just go, it's okay. Just answer the phone. She's gonna be all right. When she's not going nowhere. So I'm like, okay. And I remember turning around and I'm like, I'm gonna step outside this door. I said,
Mm,
I will be right back. So I will be right back. And I said, I love you. I'm gonna go to this door and I'm coming right back. And I remember as soon as I opened the phone, because we had the little flip phone. I remember as soon as I opened the phone, I opened that door. My as soon as my foot touched the other side of that door, every machine in that room went off like simultaneously. I swear to God. As soon as my foot one foot hit the other side of that door, every machine in that room went off at once. And
okay.
I spun around so fast, I dropped the phone. And I just looked at my mother and I just watched her body, like her chest go up. It was like one big breath and then it went down. And I just seen, like, I literally seen life leave her body in that moment. And I just stood there, like, in the moment, like, not knowing what the
Right.
f- do. I was like stuck, because everything,
Yeah.
like, sound, sirens, everything is like blurring in my ear. And I'm like, yo, like, this can't be happening right now. And I just remember hitting the floor
Mm,
and like I couldn't breathe. I was bored. Like I don't know what was happening.
mm-hmm.
And I remember my godmother came. She picked me up. She was like, "It's okay. Come on, let's go. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving." And I remember getting in the bed with my mother. I got in that bed
Mm,
and I laid there and I cried and I cried and I must have cried myself to sleep because I remember a doctor coming in and she died at 7:21. I remember a doctor coming in at like 10 something, waking me up. Like, we have to take her. And I said no, because my sisters hadn't even gotten there.
Right.
Nobody got there yet. I was still there by myself. And then soon as I said that no, like my sisters is not here yet, everybody came busting in the door. And they were just looking at me like, are you okay? And I just remember like not hearing anything, like just seeing faces, but I couldn't hear anything in
Yeah.
that, like nothing. I couldn't hear shit because I'm still like, if I didn't tell her that she could go when she had left,
Yeah.
and was the phone ringing because she wanted me to go out the room so she could go.
Yeah.
So I live with those things, on top
Yeah.
of the last day that I actually did see her when she was alive. Like me and my mother have this thing, like I worked overnight, right? And then
Yeah.
every night I would leave to go to work. I would knock on her door 3 times, boom, boom, boom. And then I'll open it and I'm like, I'm leaving. And she'll be like, okay. I'll kiss on her forehead 2 times. And then she always did this thing to me, like, she would take her hand and go like that, like down my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she would do like that and touch my nose. And I would always do that, like before I left the house. And we never said, she said, you never say goodbye. You always say, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
But that night I was like, I had just gotten into an argument with my son's father. And I was, like upset. I didn't do any of that. I just was like, I'm leaving. And I left out the house. I didn't say anything to her. I just left. When I came home, she wasn't home.
Uh, you
And
know.
um I did a freestyle, and in the freestyle I actually like explained exactly what happened that day.
Okay.
Like
You did the freestyle later,
yeah,
or
after
okay.
and
How
then
how much after?
I think I just did that freestyle like a few years ago.
Where you put it out?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. And it's
Okay.
actually like a picture somebody drew of her. Is
Okay.
like and I actually like the verse actually explains that day. Like I
Okay.
came home, she wasn't home. And I remember just thinking like she had to stay longer for dialysis. Like it usually happens. So I didn't get a call till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon telling me that my mother was in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
and she had a heart attack
Okay.
and something else. She stopped breathing.
Mm.
She had complications breathing, and then I went there. She was already sedated, so I didn't even. There was no conversation, no nothing. I never even got to say anything or get a "I love you" or nothing like that. So, I me saying battle rap saved me is because I was really in like a super dark place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was drinking, I was partying every day,
And so
going to
did
church, still partying. Like I just remember having hella parties in my house.
yeah. So did battle rap like get some structure? What did it do that what happened? Like how did your involvement in battle rap kind of change maybe the trajectory of your life, but definitely how did it change your present state at the time? What
Um,
happened?
More so because I had stopped writing. Like I had stopped just putting my thoughts down, I had just stopped doing something that I love to do, which
Mhm.
is write. It doesn't matter like what I was writing about. It was just writing in general.
Mhm.
So I feel like it gave me like something to look forward to. Like, okay, I can do this. Like this is like I have many talents. So it was just like, okay, I told my mother I was gonna be somebody.
Mhm.
I was gonna be great. And just being out, just being in the atmosphere, seeing people, like getting that vibe, you
Yeah.
know. It just took me to a different place, and it was like, okay, there are actually humans in the world, you know.
Right. Right.
You just don't have to be home in the dark.
So
And
so you started you got into your first battle, and then you start prepping for the next one. Now,
no, I didn't start prepping after I did the Star Smiles battle. Um one of my friends, Joe Light, he knew Debo, and he told Debo about me. And I remember one day being home, and I was sitting in the dark crying,
hmm,
and Debo knocked on my door.
wow.
Mind you, this man didn't know me. He never met me, never had a conversation with me, nothing. My friend gave him my number and my address, right? And he told me, he like, oh, I gave your number to Debo. He's gonna call you. And I'm like, who the fuck is Debo? And I kid you not, that man knocked on my door.
Wow. Off
And
hearsay.
off hearsay, he came.
So he hadn't heard you. Somebody
He
just.
hadn't
Oh,
heard me. He
wow.
didn't even know what I looked like.
Wow. Shout out to Debo.
And he came and he knocked on my door. And he knocked on my door. I remember I was in the living room on the couch. I opened the door and I'm like, who are you? And he introduced himself. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, oh, like, you got an attitude. Like, you really got a hood attitude. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
like, what you want? And he was like, oh, you know, your homie Joe Light gave me your info. He said you're a rapper. Like, I want you to come to an event.
Hey, yo, this just sound like a movie
Yeah,
intro. You know what I'm saying? This
that's
sound like hey, we need you at Queen of the Ring. Like
yeah. Like, I want you to come to an event. And
opportunity came knocking.
yeah, and I'm like, an event for what? He was like, a female battle rap event. And I'm like, what is that? Now, mind you, at this time, I knew Rex, I knew Shine, and but I never knew Shine was a battle rapper.
Okay.
Like, I knew Shine before he battled Tay Rock.
Okay. So what was Sean doing? Just rapping?
Um, I think he was just rapping. Like, I just knew him. Like, we had spoke before,
Okay, got you.
and
Got you.
he was like, come to an event or whatever. And I'm like, all right. And he was like, I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna take you myself, right? So I'm like, okay. So the first event he took me to was um a You Are Relevant.
Okay.
And I think it was the night that Calico battled was it Rich? No, it wasn't Rich Dollars. But it was Calico on the card, Rich Dollars was on the card, Shine was on the card. I want to say Surf was on the card.
Okay.
I don't I don't remember what card it was, but hmm, I think it was the night that Rich Dollars battled Tech Nine.
Okay.
And I went to that battle and I'm like, "Oh, this is dope." You know, and then he was like, "You got to come to a females event." And I remember going to my first event, and I was just like, "Oh, this is fire. Like, this is really cool. Like, this is really really cool." And then I had finger waves already, and then I remember someone saying, "Your finger waves are really pretty." And I'm like, "Thanks." Cause like, I really was not coming outside. Like, I
Okay.
just,
Okay. So
so
it was just like more community.
it's
It was like,
like so new to me. Like, it's people
yeah.
here. So I'm like, okay, like, I was really like weird, like, and
So so after just going all those things and spending that time, like when did you make a decision? Just like, yo, I'm about to be a star.
after the first me watching I think it was E Heart, and Treese or something like that.
Okay.
And then he was like, I was like, I like this. He was like, would you want to do it? I said, I don't know. Like, I really wasn't too sold on it. And then I remember him just calling me and he was like, um, we got Shayna, it's a girl named Shayna Ashley and we want you to battle her. And
Mm.
like, what? And I was like, do she have like any videos or anything? He like, she got a video, but it wasn't a battle rap video. It was like a regular video, whatever.
Okay.
And I remember watching it and I'm like, oh, this girl can rap. So
Man.
I'm like, okay. And then once again, here I go with a beat in my head.
Man. You
Rap,
while
rapping with
we
my head.
while we go into that, just so we make sure we keep the people that are tuned in engaged, I'm gonna drop this phone number across the bottom of the screen. While we talking, we gonna take a few calls if somebody wanna call. Sometimes people be too scared to call. Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
be intimidated. So we'll see what happened. We'll see what happened with Farrah. So you and Shayna go to battle.
Mm-hmm. I had I remember telling one of my homegirls or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do a battle. And she was like, what is that? I'm like, it's a battle rap. It's a battle rap. And she's like, what is a battle rap? And I'm like, you rap, you like, I would be rapping against somebody, and I just remember her styling me, and she put me in some fucking cheetah jeans
Okay.
and a white shirt, and I had on like a motorcycle jacket. And I just remember the person that said my finger waves was so pretty.
Yeah.
And
S-
I just went to my girl and I'm like, I had just colored my hair red.
uh-huh.
And I was like, I need something nice. And she was like, all right, we're going to put your finger waves back. And I'm like, really? Like with my hair red? And she was like, yeah, it's going to come out nice.
Okay.
She did the finger waves, and I was just like, I
Now
like it.
before that, had you seen women, because you definitely brought, I guess the word I'm looking for is femininity, into, you help usher that in the battle rap, because a lot of times, like, the ladies, they look like the dudes when they jump into battles. And what I noticed with Queen of the Ring is it was so diverse in different kind of looks that you would get. So
Mm-hmm.
how, like you said, you had somebody style you, and this is like early on, right?
Yeah.
So you had a sense on fashion as far as in the ring. Is that just like, yo, I want to look right just in general, or was that purpose? Was it a purpose behind that?
Um, I kind of felt like I needed to like show my personality,
Hmm.
and I kind of didn't know like what the people was expecting. So I'm feeling like, okay, like any superstar would have a stylist, right?
Right.
So I'm like, okay. And then that's what she was doing. So it was like, yeah, she was like, let's do this. Like, put this on. I'm thinking this will look really nice on you. And the finger waves just came into play. So that was a thing for me. But I just like, if I had to pick my own clothes, I would have probably battled in a sweatsuit.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
definitely battled in a sweatsuit.
so like all while you're doing this, you're getting these battles together. You're getting ready. You're
Get the card. It's in my wallet.
at this point right now, your career is starting to take off. You're
Hmm.
you're doing these battles. You're becoming a household name. You're one of the women that are in the forefront of the culture when it comes down to battle rap. And y'all are kicking doors down because it was kind of in a space that was kind of ran by men or what
Right.
have you. It was male dominated rather. Uh, when did you see the actual shift in attention and know that, yo, I can be, not only can I be a star in this, I can be as big of a star as these guys. When did that happen?
I think it was the night I battled Shooney
Okay.
because well, you know what? I wouldn't say that. I think it was after the Shayna battle
Okay.
because guys had come out. Like a lot of the battle rap guys had come out that night,
What year
and
was the Shayna battle?
I don't even remember.
Was that 12? 13?
It had to be like, I want to say 13.
Okay.
And we battled, and then it was like a lot of the battle rap guys had come to the event or whatever. And it was in that moment. Hold on. What? Um um it was in that boy, give me the ding bag. It was in that moment. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, it was in that moment. It was like everybody was like, "Oh wow, like who is this girl? Like she's new and she's just out here. Like
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't nervous, no nothing."
And
So for me, that was just like a big thing, you know.
okay,
And that after that, it was just like, shit, sky's finna be the limit.
okay. So so at this same time while all this is happening, you're a mom,
Yes,
right? And mama stuff gotta still happen, right? You know, like you gotta be able to battle, you gotta be able to be a mom. And I know it was helpful that like the biggest space for battle rap was in the space you grew up. So it
Bronx.
wasn't like you had to hop on a plane every weekend or something so you could. But in preparation, it's still the same. You still got mouths to feed. You still got rent to pay. You still got diapers and formula and food and everything else, right?
Right.
So, what does preparation time and how does a mother prep or a parent in general? How do you prep and balance regular life and motherhood and parenthood?
Honestly, whew, that's hard. Um, because I never found prepping to be that hard when I had one son.
Okay.
Once I had the multiple of these mother effers, that's when the prepping stuff started, because it's like everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone needs your attention, and it's just like, whoa. It's all happening so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I think that's when trying to balance like actual motherhood, like life, and trying to be a battle rapper, that's when it became like really difficult. So I would find myself um having to walk. I would be outside walking, trying to write, coming up with stuff. I
Just
found
like
being
just taking a
outside,
regular walk. Gotcha.
yeah, being outside, like sitting in front of my building or just like walking through the park,
Mm-hmm.
would really like calm my nerves and help me come up with a lot.
A lot of times, like people don't get that there are certain things that we do in that creative process that are just what we do. You know, I know people that people go to the river, people rap in nature, people go outside, people go in the studio, and it's important to find that thing. So, like as you're going through this, and I just looked it up, you and Shooney dropped in 2011, man. Uh,
Dang,
were you
really?
two were you two friends during this time, or did you meet, or did the friendship start after the battle?
So me and Shuni's friendship started after our battle.
Okay.
Um,
So how
and
was it before the battle? What was it? What show me what did it look like before the battle?
what, me and her?
Yep.
We didn't know each other. We
Okay.
hadn't spoken. We've never had a conversation or anything. I
Okay.
just remember Debo being Debo, trying to set this battle up, and he's like, "Yeah, she's talking crazy about you." And this, and I'm like, "Wait,
He
what?"
Don King in it, right?
I'm like, "What?" Back then, my energy is like, "The fuck, talking crazy about me."
Right. Right.
So, I'm like, "Fuck out of here." So at this time, I'm hanging around Rex and them, And you know how Rex do. Rex talking shit. Ah, my bitch will kill you.
Yeah,
My bitch will
yeah,
kill you. And I'm like,
yeah,
what? Your bitch ain't gonna kill nobody. Fuck out of here. So we going back and forth or whatever. Debo doesn't make it any better. So now, I think I shot at her in my
yeah.
normal battle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I shot at her, and then that prompted them to set up the
And
battle.
you know what's crazy? That y'all battle really, really quick because that normal battle dropped in July, and that battle, the next one dropped the very
Yeah,
next month by the end of August. So
yeah.
that was crazy. So how did y'all end up being cool?
So at our battle, at that time, I was like the first female in Dot Mob and Zip 'em Up,
Hmm.
and they all were out there. The whole Dot Mob, the whole Zip 'em Up was out there. And I remember coming to the battle, I had a Zip 'em Up shirt on. So at this time, like, where I'm from, my hood is, we give it up.
Yeah,
Like, we with the shits at all times. And so the guys from my hood, they don't really travel like that
right.
because
And when
uh
you say travel, you mean they don't leave the neighborhood?
we
You
don't
mean the
leave,
state?
we don't, like, even us, the females from the block from where I'm from, like growing up, we weren't allowed to go to different places for real.
Okay, got you.
Because one person asks you where you from, female and all, you tell them you from where I'm from, they might shoot you, they
Okay,
might stab you. So it
okay.
was like a real thing, so even for me, like, going, like, I was lucky for, female battle rap to have started in the Bronx
Yeah,
for me. So they, have to assess the surroundings. They got to know where the event is or whatever. So it was so random that they actually came
yeah.
to this battle. So they all came, all the guys from my block came. So now it's like, why the fuck you got on the zip 'em up shirt?
They like, yo, you.
Yeah,
That's some
like,
Harlem
the
shit.
fuck
Like,
you mean you ain't from zip 'em up, nigga? You from Trey side, like, you from the
yeah.
side. The fuck is we doing?
Hmm.
And like, my hood be full of bloods or whatever. So at that
Yeah.
time it was like, yo, what's up? Like,
So then what?
what you doing? So now my block, shining them, they start going back and forth, whatever. So now, one of the big homies from my block, him and Shine, is like, they trying to make bets or whatever. So they going back and forth. Like, yo, where the money at? Put the money up. Like,
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah,
real nigga shit, like being men or whatever,
yeah.
or being boys at that time.
Right, right, right.
And
But it
I
was hype.
remember,
It was lit. It was
yeah,
lit.
it was lit.
Okay.
Everybody was doing a lot in that
And this
event.
had a Queen of the Ring event, right?
Yes.
So
When
they
I mean,
slapping on the stage on the
yes,
ring. It gotta be going
they
crazy.
got money out there. It's money out there. Like, niggas
Yeah,
is
yeah,
making bets. Niggas slapping the stage. Niggas is, what's up? Like, we
yeah,
here type, making a, presence known or whatever. And I just remember us rapping, and in the midst of us rapping, you can hear them
yeah.
like going at it, like, so hard. I'm busy right now. Give me a second. You can hear them like going at it, like, it's getting crazy.
Right.
So now it's like kind of taken away from the battle, and I just remember them arguing um amongst the battle, and then somebody was arguing with Shooney's sister, and then that causes something else. So then me and Shooney like get super aggressive. I think I pushed her
Okay.
in the battle, and she like pushed me back or whatever. And then next thing you know, she's rapping, and then you just hear a bunch of commotion happening.
Ah man.
So that stops the battle right there.
Nah man. Them Queen of the Ring event. Man,
Everybody run.
y'all had the man,
We
man,
had
I
the we had
man.
it shaking from
Y'all
day
had it
one.
shaking at the man. Listen, y'all, all y'all new fans, man. Anybody ever talking about who really get it popping, man? The ladies used to, man. Listen,
We used to have it turned up, so we
man.
all run outside. We run outside, and it's like a big scuffle. My hood, them, everybody, like, they getting it
Yeah,
shaking.
yeah.
So now Debo's trying to grab me out the, out the mix, because it's like, you can't pick a side. Like,
Right, right,
if
right,
I
right, right.
stand with my hood, it's like, bro,
Yeah, he just
He
trying to get you out the mix, and he
right. So these,
protecting,
yeah,
the star.
right. So he
Yeah.
like, yo. So he tells Shooney, take her down the block around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at him like, who the fuck is you talking to? And why is you telling her to take me anyway? I don't know this girl.
Yeah.
So he like, Phara, just go with her. Just go with her. So I'm like, no, like I'm not leaving my niggas. Like, this is my hood. I gotta live there. I'm not leaving my niggas.
Yeah.
You know? So he like, just go. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
de-escalate the shit. Just take her. Take her. So she took me down the block or whatever. And she just kept she was asking me questions like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but I was like really annoyed because I'm like, bro, these are my niggas from my hood. Like I
Yeah.
grew up
Yeah.
with these niggas like,
Definitely. So how did that?
so now I'm just like, at the end of the day, luckily it was like some nigga shit.
Yeah.
So y'all not expecting me to be in the
To
middle
be
of nothing.
involved. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, bro, I gotta stand with my block.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough because you wanna because you're like. Yo, I don't want nobody to get, but like, yo, this is where I was born. This is
Right.
I gotta walk in this building. I gotta go in this place. So
Exactly.
on that ride back or have it,
We
how did
didn't
you?
speak. Me and
Oh,
Shuni didn't speak. We didn't speak until I want to say like a week or two later. We all went to Queen of the Ring was having a sparring session.
okay,
That's where we found Tori.
okay,
Like Tori was like the
Tory Doe,
superstar of the night. And
okay,
it's like clips and people would label it like, oh, these girls do a sparring session. We never did a sparring session, but we were there to support and find new talent. And
yeah,
then we all ended up leaving that night. Everybody got on the same train going in different directions.
mm-hmm.
Me and Shuni stayed on the train together because we lived the furthest within the Bronx.
Right,
So we was on the train. Everybody started getting off one by one, and I remember she was sitting across from me, and I still hadn't spoken to her. Like we hadn't had we hadn't said anything. And then I looked up, and she looked up, and I something was happening, and we both looked at each other, and we bust out laughing.
okay,
And then she asked me a question. She was like, "Oh, where do you live?" So I told her.
mm,
And then she was like, "Oh, I live in Mount Vernon." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So then she came, she sat next to me, and then we just started talking. And then from there we like talked the whole ride home. And then
word,
she gave me her number, and then she was like, "Oh, call me when you get home." And I'm
yeah,
like, she's like, "So I can know you made it safe." So I'm like, "All right, cool." And then I called her when I got home, and we was like on the phone for the whole night. And
ah,
then
damn,
that
okay,
point, like we've just been like inseparable.
ah, that's wild. That's funny because y'all got the kind of chemistry where you would think that y'all grew up together. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I know people say that a lot. People, they say that about me and Marv. Like me and Marv wasn't cool. Like we met on some rap shit. Like I didn't,
Yeah.
so like I get it. When you think about just how a rapper comes into just their own or steps into their own or steps into their name, steps into their everything. All these battlers, they got these names, all right? And I'm Quest MCODY or whatever, but we got a New Jersey twerk now. We got a I got a little homie. His name Martin Luther Lean. Uh,
I
like
yeah.
like you
There's
know,
a battle rapper named Turtleneck Teddy.
nah,
Yeah, he's from
turtleneck
Baton Rouge.
Teddy.
He's so fire. His
He
name is
fired though.
Turtleneck Teddy. Yeah.
Okay. So like, man, it's all these names. I got my name just like I just wanted to be Quest. I don't know where that came from, but the McCody was an acronym for MC of the Year, and somebody gave me that or what
Hmm.
have you, and I'm like, oh man, I rock with it, and I was young. That's how it really ain't had no significance to my name. But before I was Quest, I was Key Money. You feel me? Because my name is Key Money or whatever.
Uh
So
huh.
it was like, I'm Key Money. I got the money. I got the key. Like that's where I was with it. Uh, where you all? I want to know how did we get the name Phara Funeral, but I also want to know who were we before? Were we always Phara something?
So no, we weren't always fair. Um, I was Miss Funeral
Okay.
in high school, And
Okay,
that
why Miss Funeral?
because I just was like beating bitches up, and like I was fly as fuck. So
So you
it
was
was just
killing
like,
them with the clothes,
yeah,
and you
like
was
I
beating
was
the shit out of them. Okay.
fuck, and then I just like always fighting. So I just had that name, and then when I decided to battle rap, when Debo actually came and spoke to me about the Shayna situation or whatever, he was like, "You have to have a name." And I was like, "I have a name." And he's like, "What is it?" I was like, "Miss Funeral." And he was like, "No."
He
He
just
was like,
dubbed it. He
"Yeah."
just
He just
dubbed it.
dubbed it.
He was like Miss Funeral.
He was like, "No, you can't use that." I guess because Fab, his name was Funeral Fab or something like that. And he was like, "No, you can't use that." So I'm like, "What? What?" And he was like, "No." So I called my brother Dan, and I was asking him like a few things, and then he was like, "What about Pharaoh?" And I was like, "But Pharaoh," he was like, "Pharaoh is like a king," and I'm like, "But I'm a girl."
Right.
And he was like, "All right, nigga, change it to a Pharaoh. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "And then what?" He was like, "And then just put the funeral at the end." And then I was like, "No, that just sounds dumb."
That's
Like
what you
what?
said.
Yes, I said no. That sounds dumb.
No,
And
man.
then I'm like, "Well, like it don't make sense." Pharaoh Funeral. And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Yes, because you're the queen of killing bitches." And I was like,
Man.
"Oh, okay." Okay, it was like, "Oh, all right, I get it, because Pharaoh is a king, so we just changed it to O to A, so now I'm a queen." And then you put the funeral for death, and it was like, "Oh, the queen of death." I get it, made sense. I called Debo,
It,
and I was like, "I got a name," and then I told him, and he was like, "I like that."
yeah. Yeah.
That.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yep. So that's how we got there.
All
That's
right.
there.
Do you what initially can you share with us like the whole creative process, the difference when you're doing it by yourself, because you and Shooney have done two on twos.
I hate doing 2-on-2s. I ain't gonna lie. I hate them so much. Like
Why?
throughout the years, because I don't have any structure.
Okay.
If you notice, like my bars just go on and on from one subject to the next. It's not never like a whole, like I'm not taking you
Theme.
from episode to episode to get to where I need to go. We gonna watch this one episode, and there's gonna be so much shit in here, and y'all just gonna have to figure that shit out.
Okay. Okay.
So I have no structure. It's like literally whatever comes to my mind is what I'm gonna put in there, and then sometimes I'll figure it out and be
Okay.
like, "All right, this can't go here. Let's take this out and put it somewhere else." But for the most part, like if I'm rapping and I can rap about school, and then I want to go rap about the garbage man,
Mhm.
it's gonna come right after. It's gonna be in the middle of school.
Okay.
This garbage man is gonna be right there. He ain't got no significance to being there, but he's gonna be there.
Right.
And I just like my creative process because it's mine, and
Mhm.
it works for me, as opposed to writing a 2-on-2. Like from then to now, I think writing a 2-on-2 with Shuni is way more difficult.
Cause you gotta be on. Y'all both have to have the same
It's not
time. Y'all
even
gotta.
that.
Okay.
We're like the two pettiest fuckers in the world, right?
Okay.
So what she does is, if we're writing, like we open our notes or whatever, and usually 9 times out of 10 she starts first. Like she'll start writing, and then she'll be like, "What you got?" And I'll be like, "I got something, girl. I'm gonna put it in there later. I'm writing it in my other notes." I don't be
Mhm.
writing shit, right?
Okay.
So she'll start writing, and I wait for her to write because it helps me, because I want to see in the direction she wants to go.
Uh huh.
So she'll start writing or whatever, and then I'll write something. And the thing about us two is we don't rap the same. So I'm really wordy. Like I like
Yeah.
a lot of words in a bar, and she
Mhm.
hates it so much. So
You
what
sound
I
like these two guys I know that rap from
yeah, so
Detroit. But
I'll
go ahead.
write something, and she would wait, right? Like I wrote something one time and she waited like hours, right? And then she she deleted he
No.
deleted it, right? And it was like it went so well, and she deleted the shit. So I came back, and then I'm like, she like, oh, let me rap it to you, so we could get you could get the vibe. So I'm like, all right, cool. So she's rapping it, and I noticed the part ain't in there. So I said, you missed the part. She said, no, I didn't. I said, because I wrote such and such, and then she was like, no, you did not. I said, yes, I did. And then she started laughing. I said, bitch, what is you laughing for? She said, I ain't laughing. So she fucking deleted it.
Damn.
So what I do now is when she writes something and I feel like it's a haymaker, I just change the S to a P. And I just be deleting stuff randomly, and then I say I don't like that, and then I'm gonna take it out and put it all the way at the bottom,
Yeah.
and she be pissed off.
Yeah. You know, our process, we it changed over the years, because like the younger you are, the more time you got to be
Yeah,
around and sit around and mess around and hang out and shit. Then it get to the point that you're just trying to get the hell on.
yeah.
Something I noticed, like with the 2-on-2s, like you're always able to like for me, it's always a 2-on-2 going on. Like if Marv is battling, I'm in my mind, I'm in that fucking battle if I'm
Mhm.
there. Like this is my guy. Like I'm if the nigga need to turn up, I'm like, hey bro, you gotta turn up. And he's the same way. Hey man, slow down, pace yourself. Hey man, speed up,
Yeah.
get more aggression.
Mhm.
Like those things. Like we recognize that to the point when we first started doing the 2-on-2s, right? We were doing this league, and you know how you talk to your partner while the other people rapping, and y'all kind of strategize, right?
Mhm.
They tried to like stop us from doing that because it had never been done before. People were just taking turns rapping when we first came around. So I'm always looking to help my homie. Like we here together. So I noticed that this happened throughout battle rap. Uh, I was watching. Maybe it was Lux. I think when Lux and Cal was battling, Lux had forgot his round, his some of his raps in the first round, and while he was trying to get it back, you could hear somebody on the side telling him what part he was on. Like you could hear it. You could hear it. Like it's not everybody's watched it. Y'all have seen this
Mhm.
battle. Y'all have called him the greatest. Y'all have called us the greatest. Y'all have called all of our male counterparts, female counterparts, whoever it is, the greatest. And I heard that with my two ears. And I saw a while back. It was a while back. It was a battle where there was a battle going on, and they tried to put together like some big conspiracy of just you and or Shooney having each other back in a battle to
Yeah,
let each.
and we don't. First of all, we're never gonna dispute that. That's always gonna fucking happen. Because guess what? What is the sense of you having a partner or a teammate if they can't pick up where you leave off? If you fumble, I'm going to catch that shit every fucking time. And
They
if
want you to know it by heart.
yeah,
That's what they really saying, right? Right? Because when you think about it, they want you to know it by heart. Because if you knew it by heart, they wouldn't have said nothing. Because they couldn't have said nothing.
but guess what? Even rappers, right?
Yeah,
Even rappers have to be what you call it, punched in
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
So that's just me punching in because she needed a punching right there. She stopped, I punched in, and that's that on that. Like we're not gonna dispute that. Yeah, I'm gonna have her back as well as she gonna have mine. Sometimes I just don't because she tells me not to. But
Mm-hmm.
leave it up to me, I'll be behind her every fucking time. Yes, I will.
What did you think? And hold on, shout out. We got another super chat subscriber. So I'm gonna ask this question real quick, then we'll get back. If you could battle anybody in the industry, who would it be? And that's for
No,
both of us.
you know what's so weird is I don't really care for people in the industry. I don't I wouldn't want to battle anybody.
Yeah, I can't think of somebody in the industry that I want to battle for any other reason than just to body him and for the recognition and the check or something like. But
Right.
yeah, So so if you remember, like when I remember seeing Lil Wayne do a show and the words were on the like on the stage, like it was a projector, like saying
Yeah,
the words on the stage.
teleprompters and everything. So what's
Um,
the deal?
so I could see the purists just saying that's taken away from the essence. But what was going on in your mind when the security guard told, like, caught, what were you thinking?
Wait, what battle was this?
Man, it was a battle, man, where the security guard was trying, was like, "Yo, she got her phone out," and I think Remy was there. It was
Oh, that was 40's battle. And the thing about it, I was not given 40 bars. So what happened was she gave me her phone, right?
okay.
And throughout the battle, she wanted to keep, looking at her bars
Yeah.
because she felt like she was forgetting something. So who am I to say no, you can't look at your phone?
Right, right,
It's
right.
her phone. So anytime she reaches for it, I'm going to give it to her.
Yeah.
So instead of allowing her phone to lock,
You
I
kept it open.
I kept it open for her,
Yeah.
right? So in the midst of her rapping, I could, when you know someone, like
Hmm.
I could sense her like basically trying to remember what was going on in her head.
Right.
So she wasn't pacing herself. So she backed up and I kindly told her to slow down.
Okay.
And me telling her to slow down, with her phone in my hand, Remy was like, don't do that. I'm like,
Ah, come
what?
on, dog.
Because for one, you've never seen me do this with anybody but Shooney. I'm not gonna come out here and try something new with no damn 40.
You know what? You know what's crazy, and I don't know if fans really recognize this, that if you've been sparring with somebody all day, all week, all whatever, and then you get up there on that stage, they be as invested in that battle as you because they've
Right,
been sparring with you. You know, they remember how you said it in the hotel. You know, they like,
right,
man, turn up. Like,
right.
I got a couple more questions. Then I'm gonna call it a night because I don't want to hold you too long. I know you done had a long day, and I appreciate you just taking the time
I'm
rocking with
I'm
us.
enjoying myself. You barely get to the juicy stuff, but
Okay, all right. Now, I don't be all in tune. All right, I'm gonna hit my little. I don't know if you can hear this. My little get 'em Cody. I don't really be in tune, right? I really don't be in tune. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Um, and we gonna get back to this story. I forgot where we at. Right now we at Queen of the Ring. You and Shooney done battled, and we gonna fast forward a little bit, but we gonna get in the present time because it's gonna take us back in the day to a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know much about none of this shit. But I saw something. I saw a tweet from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me. I didn't see it. I didn't see the video. I didn't see nothing. I saw a tweet from Phara Funeral. Uh, apparently Tasha K. I'm sorry. Apparently Tasha K, who is like a YouTube vlogger, blogger, potter, whatever she is. No disrespect. I just don't know. Uh, she released or reshared a video from you and Misfits battle on Queen of the
Mm-hmm.
Ring. Okay. And during that time, or during the segment of the battle, because I remember that battle, it got kind of tense. I remember get your
Mm-hmm.
hand on my face. It was really really tense. And in one of those rounds, Misfit made some comments or what have you that later on were apologized for, and we had kind of moved on and went into a separate space or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what happened? Because I all I saw was you say, "Hey, you gonna end up like you feel me?"
So when we as battle rappers tell people to keep it battle rap because there are people within our circle that are not, that
That are
they do
not battlers.
battle
Yep.
rap.
Yep.
So in this instance, that's my son's father's side of the family.
Okay.
They don't do battle rap. They don't know nothing about battle rap. So to them, this battle happened yesterday.
Yep. 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 Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so what's happening now is it resurfaced, and now everybody's calling my son's father.
Right.
Like, oh, this girl said something about your son. Da, da, da. So now his aunt is on go.
Do
Why the
you?
fuck is she mentioning him for?
Yeah, and
Like,
that's the thing. What we do, it lasts. It lasts forever, and people don't think about that sometimes. It lasts forever, and it's new forever to
yes.
somebody. It's brand new. Uh, do you think that it's a line that? I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
No, so to them, yeah, it happened yesterday. So now they're feeling a ways, and it's like, okay, like, so what's up? Where this bitch at?
Hmm.
And I'm laughing because I find it to be fucking hilarious because this battle is years old.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm like, nah, y'all can chill. They like, no.
Yeah.
Clearly she want a problem. Like, why the fuck would you mention him? And that's how they gonna step behind their nephew every
Yeah.
fucking time, as they should. That's their nephew.
Yeah.
So I tweeted it, because I thought it was fucking funny as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I think the first tweet I put is my son's father side of the family don't play about him. They gonna
Right.
step for
Right.
something. And then I just started tweeting because I found it to be funny. And then, people just take things and they retweeted it and they put it on OTFMZ. And then, at first when I had seen the clip being, played again, I just ignored it for a little while. And then
Mm.
I was just like, bruh, this is annoying. When people start tweeting and start atting you, and then it just is like, oh gosh, like y'all so fucking annoying. Like, oh my god, like just shut up.
Is
And
it
then
a is it
I
a
just started
line?
responding.
Is it a because y'all are close in proximity, right? So it's a little different when y'all all in the same place, in the same neighborhoods, or not maybe the same neighborhoods, but in the same state. Uh, is it a line that you don't think should be crossed? Is it a line that you don't cross in battle
Yeah,
rapper? Do you, or is it like case by case, and you gotta kind of play it how you
for
play it?
me, there's a line. I don't cross lines like with certain things. Like I don't necessarily like if I know you have like kids or whatever, and like I don't try and cross those lines. Like my things won't be like directly directed to your kids. My things are like more so general.
Mm-hmm.
you know, like, oh, I'll hang your kid by a feet or something. I think I said something to Shooney.
Yeah.
Even with the Casey battle, it was a bar. I didn't know her father was
Yeah.
deceased. I
Yeah.
didn't know anything. And I said something about her dad, and I seen like her energy shift, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right. Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like I didn't know about her father. It was just a random bar or whatever.
Right.
And then after the battle, she was like, "Oh, her father is deceased," And then she
Yeah.
told me in the manner in which it happened and why she feels away. And I totally understood in that moment
Yeah.
because I too feel that way about my parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I tried after that situation. I steer clear of mentioning people's kids,
Okay.
anybody deceased, parents. I don't play with those things.
Yeah. You think because obviously everybody don't play by those rules, right? Do you
What the fuck?
how does it how does it do you think it hinders you when you trying to get your stuff together? Like if you're battling one of the people that you know use that kind of tactic when they battle, uh, does it make preparation a little more difficult, or you more just worried about being the best fair?
I don't really care for what people are gonna say because 9 times out of 10, it's normally the same thing. So you normally have the you fucked X, Y, and Z, your pussy, this, and we know we're gonna hear those things, right?
Okay.
So I really don't care to match people's energy or per se or even go tit for tat.
Okay. Why do you think people are so fascinated with who you have or haven't slept with?
I think it's a oh, I think it's all to do with them not really having anything else to say. Like, what else can you possibly say to me? You
Mm.
can't call me ugly. You can't talk about the way I dress. You can't do any of that. So, I think people are just like so fascinated with what I do with my vagina.
Do you think that's a common thing, like in like you know the guys don't have to have we don't have to have that conversation. Like I've never had, you know, so it ain't that. So that's just you think that's something that just come with the territory?
Of course, I do, and I feel like for the most part, it's like if I always say this, if I was ugly, would you people that I battle really be interested in who I slang pussy to or who you think I gave vagina to? You guys wouldn't be interested in that. You wouldn't care because it's like, oh,
So
like
it's like
an ugly
yo,
girl having sex.
right? So I'm desirable, so it's important to you.
Right. It's
Okay,
important for y'all to know. Like y'all must know
yeah, that
who
makes
I'm
sense.
with
So
at all times.
what's the wildest? Because I don't obviously I don't get any of these wild messages. What's the wildest message you can share that a fan is? My wildest message. My messages be crazy. I get death threats. Okay, so like um like you motherfucker, you should die. Don't you ever die. That's what I
I've
get.
I've gotten one or two of those. I've gotten I even had the tranny that everyone was she's threatened me. She's threatened to rape my son. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. What do you what do you do like when you ain't battling though? Like, all right, like we done did this. We done had this whole history. We got the fair. We know what's going on. You know, we know you rap your raps, and these bitches can't fuck with you. They talk crazy. You gonna slap the shit
Thank
out
you
of
for
them.
the shout out to you. Last question. Sorry,
Oh,
Wesley.
boom.
Amazing interview, by the way.
Yeah.
Farrah, can we get you to battle? Oh, I would say yes, but I'm retired.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Surprise!
Yo, did y'all wait a minute, man?
Surprise
Man,
body for everyone.
man, what? Wait a minute, dog. Wait a mother
Uh,
man. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm
Wait a minute.
I'm
You're
re-
what?
I'm retired.
Since
I'm retired. This
when
year
did you
my last
retire?
year. This year was my last year in battle rap. Yeah. This year was my last year in battle rap. So I did say it numerous times, and I think people don't really pay me any mind.
I
But
clearly missed this, man.
I
What?
did say I was retiring, and my last battle was the 2-on-2, and
Man.
I think the 2-on-2 kind of like sealed the deal for me because I feel like I've been in such a private place recently. Um, just enjoying life, the people in it, my partner, and just going into that battle and just hearing old stuff kind of just like triggered something in me, and it's like I don't really care for people to want to be in my business.
I feel that.
So, I just said, hey,
So
let's retire.
so does that mean that when you retire, is that just retiring from the stage, or is that retiring from just the battles and
um
the culture? Are we gonna like see Fair like pop out just to show love, to
oh
support?
yes,
Okay.
I'm always gonna show love. I'm always gonna pop out to the events here and there. But yeah, Farrah the battler, yeah, she's done.
Man, you just I don't even know if you like saw the life you just took out of my soul right now. Like when you said that. Like I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, mm. So
I tried to come back.
Mm.
Um, I was asked to do a battle um on Chrome.
Okay.
I was asked to be on. Yeah, I was asked to be on the cancel Christmas card,
Yeah.
and I was asked to do the panic room as well. And I just felt like for the panic room, the person was just not it, and that the
Word.
person wasn't like reliable enough for me to waste my time on. And for the Chrome card, it just wasn't giving. Like
I feel
I
that.
know, like I might not be super active, but respect my name,
Hell yeah.
and I'm never gonna take shorts for
Yeah.
anybody.
You know, part of my sadness, Farrah, and I think I've told you this. Uh, the only women that me and Marv have ever talked about battling have ever been like dead serious, like because we battling friends are the best battles. Was you and Shooney, and we tried to when they were doing prom because it was weird. You had to bring, y'all all did that. I was
Mhm.
like, listen, y'all need to do another one, and I'm gonna bring Fair, Marv gonna bring Shooney, or the other way around. It don't matter, and we just gonna this gonna be the first time you gonna see us on different teams, and we're just gonna go.
Look,
And
let me. I retire, and Shuni doesn't respect it by far. Never does. She just goes out and randomly books battles. So
Shooney is the Marv of y'all group then.
yeah, she is, and she definitely will probably book some shit that I had no idea that was booked, and she'll tell me, you
Yeah.
know, once the deposits get ready to go out, hey, we're booked for X, Y, and Z, and that definitely like kills my retirement. So
One time Marv went to Mall of America and he spent way too much money. And I got a text message. He's like, man, I'm out here, man. I'm about to go broke out here at Mall of America. I'm like, damn, man, you need me to send you something? He say, nah. Deposit just dropped. We got a battle. I'm like, you
I'm telling you,
motherfucker.
I remember us being in a group chat having a conversation, and then next minute she goes, yeah, did you get your deposit? I said, what? She said, yeah, we got a battle in Detroit. I said, what? She said, yeah, and that's how that battle happened, literally, because
Man,
she booked it and didn't tell me until the deposits was coming in.
do you think you get the respect that you should get in this game based on what you contributed to the culture?
I feel like for the most part, yeah, I feel like no matter how you put it, like they were saying it in the spaces, like you can't tell the story of female battle rap without putting me in it.
You can't tell the story of battle rap without putting you in it, because you
Right.
can't tell the story of battle rap without putting
Male
you in
or
battle rap.
female, you have to include me in
Yeah,
battle
you
rap
you
because
let me give you my introduction to Phara Funeral. Okay,
mhm.
I saw you when you were battling in that hallway in the hotel. That was the first time, and I was like, man, what the hell is going on? Because I didn't watch battles like that. Like I would go and do one every once in a while, and I came out to New York the first time. The first time Cal went to a Smack event, me and Head Ice were battling at a Grind Time event. We had actually took the Math and Rex were supposed to battle on Grind Time, and that fell off, and they ended up doing it on URL. So they ended up booking me and Ice to fill in that spot or
Mhm.
whatever. So we had all went out there, and I was just new, just on that scene as far as like paying attention. But then once URL got back on, that was more my speed of battle rap to watch. That was more kind of the shit that I like or whatever. And I saw y'all in the hallway, and I wanted to see what y'all looked like in actual battles. So I started going back and going through the battles and combing through the battles. And the very first battle I saw, because I didn't see them in order, definitely I saw you and K Prophet,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
then I
can't stand her.
why can't you stand her?
Cause she the one who started that whole fucking narrative about me and Sean, and it just took me forever and ever and ever to like, girl, this is bullshit.
When she said that y'all was on the same basketball team and y'all used to like play just basketball together in Harlem sometime, that is what she what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then I watched you and now here's the funny shit. I watched you and Vixen and ain't know that was Vixen when she came back around.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't know that was Vixen when she came back around. You and Matrimony. I saw that one. You had the red hair. You and Matrimony.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what else I see? Ah man, what was my one? You know what? Here's my thing. Forget all that. Queen of the Ring. Period. Period. There are girls that want to battle rap because of Phara Funeral. There's a girl that knows how to express herself and use her voice that ain't afraid to hop in the cipher. It's a girl, a little girl, like 15, that's writing her raps and her doing her little thing, and she is grabbing Phara Funeral bars off of the internet, and she is going in her fucking third grade class, fourth grade class, high school class, and she's rapping your bars. Like that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Uh, all because you turned pain into prosperity. Like in the grand scheme of things, like when you could turn pain into prosperity, that's why people attach to you. Cause like when we hear you and we see you do what you do, it's that authenticity. It's a lot of times people say, like we talk about believability in battle rap, right? Like how much you believe this person, but I don't think it's like, do I believe you're gonna slap the shit out of me? Do I believe that what you're giving me comes from a true place, or
Right.
what? And
Right.
I can say that you have been authentically and undeniably you from the day
Yeah.
I met you. From the day I met you, I think the first time I met you, you was talking shit, and
I'm
we
always talking shit.
the first time I met you, we were you probably won't even remember this, but the first time I met you was actually I believe it was Double Impact.
Mm.
I believe it was Double Impact. The very first. No, it had no. You know what it was? I know when it was. There was a URL event. I can't remember everybody, but I remember one battle that night because it never came out. Cortez and Uno Lavos battle. But I was out there for something. I can't remember. But we met in passing. But anyway, you are always undeniably authentic in what you do. I believe that every single thing you put your time into, you're gonna shine in doing. Selfishly, I don't want you to retire. Selfishly, I'm gonna get somebody to just throw money your way next year just to test you.
Try it.
I'm be like, go ahead, man. Tell her, come on, Shooney. Tell her, we gotta go to London or something,
I
man.
would
Come on.
definitely go to London.
Yeah.
I would come out of retirement for London.
Word. Okay. Hey, yo, listen, London premiere, Quest MCODY, Marv One, Shooney, Phara. That way, it ain't really coming out of retirement. It's like, yo,
Right.
I'm playing in an All Star game. I'm getting some shots up. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Agreed.
Um, is there anything that you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
Um, I do have a book coming out. I am working on a book. I'm working on two books. So one is like, kind of like one of those hood erotic books.
Fire.
And then one is basically like, because people have been asking for me to, like, I guess, write a memoir or like
Mm-hmm.
just my life. So the other one is definitely going to be about me.
Okay.
Like, Grieve.
Now, is nobody safe, or is this one of the ones where Mike gonna just be named Melvin and Doug is gonna be Dennis?
No, it's not gonna be. What you mean? My book about myself?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna have any, raunchy stuff in there. It's basically just gonna take you back as far as to the moment, probably, when I became a battle rapper.
Okay. I be you thought of a title, or you want to keep it to yourself?
I I have a title. I'm gonna keep that one
Okay. Okay.
to me.
Well, I can't
Um,
wait to read it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you would be a great narrator as well.
Yeah, I
Like
and
you gotta narrate your book.
yeah, y'all gonna get that whole feeling, that vibe that I gave you in the beginning.
Yeah.
It kind of starts. It takes place. That's how the book starts in
Okay.
that moment. Like the moment my mother dies, that's where the
Okay.
book starts.
Well,
And
when you get this novel together, we're gonna have to go ahead. We're gonna, we in Detroit. We're gonna just take
I
that
might
book and
have to
turn
throw
it
a few
into a,
battle rappers in there, a little
you know what
storm,
I'm saying?
little in
You know what
there.
I'm saying? We get out here. We in Detroit. We the kings of Tubi movies. We could go
Might
ahead and
do one of them things,
uh-huh. Well, listen, I appreciate you, Farah. I appreciate you. I love you. I adore you. I believe that everything you do is gonna be successful. I had the phone line up and somebody did call and they ended up hanging up. They was too scared to talk to you. They was too scared. And I had all these people that was DMing me and saying, man, the second you get fair on there, I'm going to call and I'm a proclaim my love, profess my love. And I had one guy, listen to me, Fair. I'm gonna turn the phone on real quick before I hang up because he was all he like, man, if you have a phone number, I'm gonna call that young lady and I'm gonna tell her how much I've loved her my entire life. And then I turn it on and he a sucker. He a
Mm.
sucker. Shots fired. We gonna give you 30 seconds and then we out of here. With that said, I said, yo, podcast, we appreciate my girl Farah for just coming down here, kicking it with a Detroit homie, talking about everything, learned a lot about young Farah, you know.
Have me on here crying.
Man, Farah. Since we on here, I feel like I gotta share with you because you share with me. But like while you were saying that, like, so I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother was my mother worked midnight, so I went to my grandmother's every night. So I saw her every day of my life. When I was 12, we went on a trip, and we went to Mississippi, and we got in a really really bad car accident, and everybody got hurt. I got hurt. I fractured my skull. I got hurt real bad, and my grandmother passed in that accident. And I remember my mother's going through. I'm watching. Although I'm losing my grandmother, like my
Mm.
mother is like, yo, she's losing her mother. In that regard. And I remember feeling so fortunate, like to be alive, but then so remorseful. You know. And I think about something that happened. We went out to Mississippi for a funeral, and my aunt was leaving, and she said to one of our family members, "Hey, I'm about to get up out of here." He said, "Ah, well, let me go ahead, get my hug from you next time I see you." And my aunt, who passed in a car accident as well, she said, "You better get your hug from me now, cause you don't know when you gonna see me again." And
Mm.
uh, and I'm watching this happen. I'm watching this happen, not thinking anything of it. And my grandmother chimes in, who was like that when my aunt everywhere she went, they went together. My grandmother says, "Don't worry, that girl ain't going nowhere without me."
Mm.
And
They
they
went.
they went together. And you know, I sit up and sometimes I think about, like, man, if I was sitting in the front, or if I was sitting over here, or if I went, or if we would have, in the ifs always plague our minds, right? But I believe that like the things that we go through in that journey, they give us strength. They they push us to understand like if we could get through that, man, this ain't nothing. And I believe that that's why you've been so great and everything that you do is because you've been through trials and tribulations and you don't went through
Mm.
way more shit than this game could get you. And with that, I want to say thank you and I want to give you your flowers.
I appreciate you for having me. This was dope. Somebody said we need to do a part two. We're gonna work on that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, we do definitely. Let's let this one stew for a little bit. And
Yeah, we gonna spin the block for y'all.
yeah, you know, and Not Fair ain't battling. Not Fair than retired. We could probably talk about a lot of stuff. You know, battlers don't want to come on this show with me because Fair, we kick it over here. Like we ain't trying to, you know. So, you know, y'all tune in. We appreciate y'all. I said yo podcast.